You were a huge champion of him. He came on our program just after the whole thing had happened. In relation to what you're talking about here, do you think the fact that he was reinstated was any form of, was it victory, or was that a sign that something might change? Because he had, he was hugely misrepresented, but he fell foul of all these various preoccupations, didn't he?
Because a young journalist called George Eaton lied and thought that we live in an era in which you're allowed to lie and you get away with it. And I hate that. And it's not just that I admire and know Roger, been friends with him for almost 20 years, but that there's no way I was going to let them get him. And yes, the moment that Eaton and the New Statesman published these lies, I decided to undo them, to expose them. I knew immediately it was a lie. The editor of the New Statesman, Jason Cowley, should have known immediately it was a lie. By the way, we live in such a deracinated media culture that 10 years ago Johan Hari is found to be lying, and even what was left of the Independent then managed to realise he had to go. 10 years later, George Eaton, deputy editor of the New Statesman, lies about the transcripts, lies about a philosopher, lies about a major public figure, lies to MPs, lies to the cabinet, and he's still at the New Statesman. So there's something so deracinated about the media culture as well, that that's possible these days, and nobody thinks, apart from a small number of us perhaps, that it's reprehensible, utterly reprehensible that should be possible. And yes, I knew immediately that it was a lie. I showed that, I think I exposed it, and yes, and Roger Scruton ended up getting his job back. But here's the thing. That trick that Eaton did could be done on anyone. And most people do not have enough of a public profile to be able to have defenders. Most people aren't in the position of having people in the fortunate position that I am in, for instance, who can push back against that with the media platforms that we have. Most people, in fact, fear that. If there's a good thing about it, it's that, as Fraser Nelson said at the time, it was one of the first media pile-ons in which people ended up paying a price for joining in. In that the MPs who joined in trying to throw out Roger Scruton from polite society